Hello, my friends. Jill here. Welcome to our empowered fitness community for women over 40 looking to get energized, confident, and strong. Today is Wednesday, and that means it's our next Q&A session, helping you understand all the things that are going wrong, that you're struggling with, the reasons why you're not getting your desired results in your fitness and nutrition journey. And I am here to answer any questions that come up along the way. So please feel free to ask them as we go. When you join the group, you answer some questions for me about what's holding you back from achieving your goals, what your goals are, and then if you have any particular questions, you're welcome to ask them. So I have a sampling here of some ladies who recently joined the group, and I'm going to share with you, first of all, what they're looking to achieve, and maybe you will feel a lot of the same things, and we'll see if there's any common themes, and we'll address them together. So hi, Mary. Hi, Kelly. If you have any questions, again, that you want to ask, go ahead and just type them in the chat. Hi, Lisa. Hi, other Lisa. We got a couple Lisas that just hopped on. So here we go. So when I asked, what's holding everybody back? And you can tell me in the chat too what's holding you back right now. When I asked what's holding you back from achieving success, here's the answers that I got. Number one, Mandy says, I don't know what to do. Cindy says motivation is lacking and she has a lack of time. Brenda says, I feel that I need more information about fitness and nutrition. And that's an interesting one. I want to pause there, because most people say that there's too much information out there on the internet and that it gets very confusing. And that's kind of it. It's like, I don't know what to believe. And so I don't think it's that you need more information, but I think you need the right information. You need to be kind of like staying in your lane, right? Not looking over at somebody else's paper. What are they doing? Because they might not be in your shoes. And so we've got to figure out what's the right method and then get an understanding of the information. I think it's different when you hear something and you try to follow something versus really understanding why you're following it and why it would work for you. So that's what we want to narrow down. And that is one reason why it is really great to have a coach like myself who specializes in the field of working with women who are over 40, who are going through hormonal changes and unsure of what needs to change now that we're in this stage of life, okay? Let's see. Joanna says nutrition is holding her back, and Becca also says nutrition is holding her back. We've got a couple, both Buffy and Sabrina both said motivation is holding them back. Now, if you ladies are new and you didn't know, every Monday, I do two things now. I do a Motivation Monday chat in here. And so you can find all those here or on my YouTube channel if you want to like binge watch them. You can cast that to your TV. You can watch it in bed at night. And so I do my Motivation Monday chat. And I will tell you there's a common theme in my Monday motivation chats, and also when I'm talking to you in my messenger inbox. I talk to several hundred of you a day. It's exhausting. I have to drink lots of pre-workout in order to get through that. So I often say that the only thing that really is going to hold you back, especially to those who don't respond to me, they jump in my inbox and then they ghost me, is zero action gets you zero results. And so not only is action important, but also having a plan, because following a plan is much easier, much more exciting than having no plan or kind of being confused every day about what you're supposed to do. I come down to my gym every day and I know exactly what my workout is, and I know exactly what I'm going to eat because I plan it out every week on these little sheets that are all over the place. So I've always got my pile of ones that need to be filled out. Every Friday I do this, and then I just follow it. It makes things so much easier when you have a plan and when you take action. But I think another thing for many of you is the motivation. Somebody had said it, and I forget what they said. Motivation. I'll have to go back. Maybe they were talking to me in the chat, in the messenger inbox, is that it was like, I don't even know, like, I don't have the motivation to stick with it. And, you know, and I think part of that is sometimes we've got to realize that it's not going to always be like some massive feeling of motivation in the moments, in every moment, every day. Like this morning, I didn't sleep very well last night. And so and I woke up at 4:30 this morning and had to go to the bathroom, and then I got back in bed and couldn't fall back to sleep. And so finally fell asleep like 10 minutes before my alarm was supposed to go off. Did I want to get up at 6? No. Did I feel motivated to get up at 6? No. Did I get up at 6? Yes. So sometimes it doesn't really matter what your motivation is. It's that you got to do what you got to do to get the results. And then the motivation also sometimes it shouldn't be necessarily the result that you're going to get from that particular activity, but the results that you want over time. And so a lot of us, I think, disregard that everything we're doing now is going to be setting us up for the future. And so you kind of have to think of it like your 401k. Do you really want to be giving up part of your paycheck every time you get a paycheck and you're putting money into your 401k? Wouldn't you rather be spending that now? Yeah, that would be more fun. Going on more vacations, buying more fun stuff, eating out a little more. But we know how important it is to have that savings later on in life. And so we save our money. And so it's the same thing now. We have to be giving that little input every single day to prevent the things in the future, right? So we want to prevent our body from breaking down. We want to prevent injury. We want to prevent the weight gain when our metabolism naturally starts to slow. So we need to start doing the things and do them consistently so that we don't have problems later, right? So sometimes it's not necessarily what's going to be the motivation in the moment, but keeping in mind that long-term journey and the long-term quality of life that you want. That should be motivation to be healthy. Having a plan of action, having some accountability, those things are going to help you stick to it, right? Especially if it's enjoyable. That's going to make it much easier, okay? Stacy says not knowing what to do is holding her back. I'm here for that. I'm here to help you, to educate you, to give you little steps, to teach you everything that I can to make it easier. Renee says consistency, and Georgie says, or maybe it's Georgia, I might have typed that wrong, says discipline. So consistency and discipline, these are things that we may not have at the beginning, but we have to build. And that's something that I see in a lot of my clients is that they'll come to me and they'll be like, I'm not doing any workouts. And then 4 weeks, 5 weeks into my program, I go, do you realize you've just completed like 50 workouts? That's amazing, right? You've been so consistent. I love celebrating that consistency. Let's see. Kimberly says, I honestly don't know what's holding me back. Gail says finding time to do workouts. And Brenda says menopause and weight gain has been holding her back. So we can do this. No matter what's holding you back right now, doesn't have to be what holds you back for any longer than you decide, okay? You put your foot in the sand. Is that what they say? Draw a line in the sand. You draw a line in the sand and you say, today's the day that we're done. We're done being uncomfortable. We're done being where we are. We're going to achieve our goals. So some of the goals that I see the ladies have here is losing weight, toning up, losing weight, feeling good about myself, losing 20 pounds and getting toned, losing weight and living a healthier lifestyle, to get healthy again, not only lose the weight, but to be healthy, to lower BMI. So obviously health is important to you. This is a very good motivator, right? We don't want to be sick. The more we do for ourselves, the better care we take of ourselves, the less likely we are to feel unhealthy and become sick. The other things that I heard were lose weight and get toned. So let's get cracking. If that's what you want, that's what you got to work for. That's what you got to keep in mind each day when you are given opportunity. Every day we're given opportunities to make great decisions or poor decisions. You've gotten good at some of the things in life. You got to really work at these other ones, okay? Let's answer some individual questions. So Mandy asks, how do I lose weight on my, not weight. Okay, let's start over. How do I lose fat on my thighs? Okay, nobody likes inner thigh fat, right? I don't either. And I've noticed that in my 40s, the weight has shifted there. So a couple things that I did were, number one, I did a 2-month bike ride journey where I was on my bike each day. I can't say that that made a huge difference on my legs, but I also wasn't really going for heavy resistance. I was more going for speed and getting as many miles as I could in while I was on there. But now I made my focus, because I still want to lift my glutes and tighten my thighs, is I'm doing what we call a butt camp. So working on my glutes literally 6 days a week. Glutes, inner thighs, hamstrings, quads, all of my leg muscles from all different angles every day, still getting my bike work in so that I'm, revving up my metabolism, get my fat cells to kind of like mobilize and get ready to get rid of them, and building that strength in the areas that I want to see more tone. So losing fat is not going to be something you can target necessarily, but you can lose all the fat everywhere. So when I lose fat or gain fat, it goes everywhere. That's what happens with fat cells. So you've got little fat cells all over your body. Now, different people were built with fat in different places, and it shifts over time. And, in our middle age, we tend to see it in the middle and down. And so what you are going to see is that throughout your life, regardless of wherever the fat is stored, when you gain weight, you gain it everywhere. And when you lose weight, you lose it everywhere. So the best way to lose weight or lose fat in your thighs is to lose the fat all around, which means that you need to be eating a little bit healthier, burning a little bit more calories, and then also toning that area so that you can build more muscle to do more fat burning for you, but also just improve the appearance of the areas that you do want to look better. So that means working on them, building muscle, maybe doing some foam rolling, just keeping very healthy overall, but really focusing on the areas that you want to see the change in. If I want to build a 6-pack, I'm literally working my abs every day forever until I have the abs that I really love. So the more focus you put on that area, the better. You do have to still be very careful that you're not overworking muscles, that you're giving them rest, that they have time to recover. So if somebody said, oh, I thought you weren't supposed to work your one muscle group every single day. I'm working my glutes, I'm working my hamstrings, I'm working my quads, I'm working my, all of my leg muscles, but I'm doing them in little different areas each day. So you have to put focus where you want to see the results, okay? So Mandy, you might want to join me for a little butt camp, or one of my other really great, actually I have a couple of great programs in my library. One is my Step into Strength, where we're literally using an exercise step to do our cardio workouts and to do our strength workouts. There's a couple leg workouts a week. Also, my Build and Burn program has a leg day and a booty day. So we're working that lower half quite a bit. Okay, and we are focused on nutrition, and we're focused on getting all the work that we need to do. Cindy asks, how do I get where I need to be to start losing weight? Well, you schedule a call. And Cindy, actually, she bypassed scheduling a call with me, and she just went ahead and bought my Menopausal Metabolism Reboot and my Fit and Fast program, which Cindy had also said that she was lacking motivation and time. So number one, I'm super proud of Cindy because she must have been listening to me when I said, if you're lacking motivation, take steps forward. Start doing things. Buy something, invest in something, sign up for something. And so she signed up for my Menopausal Metabolism Reboot and added on the Fit and Fast workouts, which are 20 minutes long, 5 days a week. And that is an incredible place to start because Cindy's going to get information on menopause and what she needs to be doing during this time. She's going to get my workouts that are super short, so if she's lacking time, then it'll be just enough to get results, but not, spending too much time. And it's one step forward, and it's adding tools to her toolbox now. And I'm sure when Cindy goes through these, she's also going to get my 5-day Kickstart Cleanse, Plan A in this too. So she's going to be seeing some awesome results. And what I see for those who join the Menopausal Metabolism Reboot is that the Kickstart is that really quick win that gets them super excited and just really revved up to learn and to implement and to stick to the tools. Okay? All right. Next question. Why does my waistline keep expanding no matter what I do or try? Becca was also somebody who said that nutrition was holding her back. So it's possible that we don't have the proper nutrition tools to get the right results. It could be that she's trying things that are not going to serve her. So maybe she's trying all the wrong things. I think a lot of us feel like we've done that. Trying all the wrong things before we find the right things. So we do need to have a framework for nutrition that we 100% know is going to work for us. And so something that we can be consistent with, that we can stick to, that will be enjoyable, and that will yield the results that we expect it to if we follow it, right? So when it comes to nutrition frameworks, I teach 5 of them. My 5-day Kickstart Cleanse, my Menopausal Metabolism Reboot, portion control, macros, and mindful nutrition. And so I teach a lot of my clients multiple different frameworks because we don't want to stick to just one forever. And it's tough to stick to the same thing forever. And sometimes one framework works better than the other. You have to be willing to try different tools, but you also have to be willing to stick them out for quite a while to see, if they work. If you give up after 2 weeks of doing a nutrition framework, I guarantee that's not the amount of time it takes to get amazing results in your nutrition. Sometimes that first couple weeks, your body is kind of wigging out because it's like, whoa, we're changing things. What are we doing right now? And you might see the scale go in the opposite direction. Some people might not find that. Another thing is that it may not come down to nutrition. Becca, sometimes we could be doing the right fitness and the right nutrition, and we still see that waistline grow because that's really a function of stress, of cortisol production, especially in women who've lost their estrogen due to going through premenopause, perimenopause, menopause. That estrogen that we used to have a lot of, it is now waning, and then it's not helping you with managing fat storage. And so more fat is storing in the belly area with excess stress. Then you might be producing too much cortisol, and that could cause that belly fat storage. So things other than fitness and nutrition include stress management, sleep management, and hormone management. So those are all things that could be contributing aside from diet and exercise at this point in time. In 20s, 30s, maybe even early 40s, you might have been able to kind of like outpace the weight gain with your diet and exercise, but there's just more factors that we have to bring in now. We have to understand what's going to help us and what's going to hurt us, okay? So I think more education, having a call with me, or maybe signing you up for the Menopausal Reboot as well might help. Depends on what's really going on here, okay? All right, Buffy asks, how does menopause affect weight loss? So I think I kind of just went through that, right? So we used to have some hormones, estrogen and progesterone, that we have more of. And as our reproductive cycle kind of becomes obsolete, we don't need it anymore. We run out of eggs. We don't need to make babies anymore. We start to lose these reproductive hormones. And they did a lot for our organs, our system. Estrogen helped us with weight management. Progesterone helped us with stress management. And so without these, we kind of need to mimic what they were doing, and we can do that with the right activities. So it does, menopause, this period will make it a little harder if you don't know the right things to do. There's many, many, many women out there who are not being affected by this period, and maybe they've just built up these habits over time because they started a lot earlier, or they've adjusted what they need to do. They're really going at it hard. Perhaps supplementation is helping, doing the right exercises and just building the body that is doing the right things. It can help you. So we can still lose weight in menopause. Anybody can. You're not stuck. We just have to educate you on what we need to do. Okay. All right. Joyce Ann says, how do I maintain and keep off the weight? Okay. So keeping weight off, I will tell you, is definitely harder than losing it. When I started my journey 10 years ago, it was actually this week. It was March 17th, I think, that I left, maybe it was the 10th, maybe it was the 17th. I left on a cruise with my sister, and that was like 2 months into my journey. I started, I think, January 21st, 2015 to March 21st, 2015. It was 8 weeks, 2 months. And I lost 15 pounds in that 8 weeks, and I lost 6 dress sizes. And that was the very beginning of my journey. And what happened when I lost that 15 pounds was I realized that it was really from calorie restriction and not so much from building a really strong, healthy physique. And so after I lost all that weight, I gained it back, but in muscle. And I started to get more confident and comfortable with my body. But that weight came off so fast. The first week I lost 6 pounds. The second week I lost 4 more pounds. And then over the course of the next few weeks, I lost another 5. And I was able to maintain that for a little bit. But then I changed the activity I was doing. I incorporated more food, I incorporated more strength training exercise, and really over the last 10 years have been refining. If I wanted to lose 6 pounds these days, or 15 pounds, I find it a lot harder because I'm closer to my goal and where my body was really meant to be. And I've been building a physique and helping my metabolism be really smart, use calories really well, have enough that I can build muscle. And so my body requires more. And so it's kind of tricky for me. I'm always working still to maintain. It takes a lot for me to maintain my weight. I still have to keep all of my healthy habits most of the time. And taking weight off is a little trickier for me. I have a very clean diet. I've been eating a lot cleaner for 10 years. And so I have to still work very hard to keep the weight off. I think a lot of times people will lose a bunch of weight and then I'll be like, yay, I did it. And they'll go back to their old habits and just completely fall off the wagon. They'll stop their workouts. They'll go back to eating things that they used to eat. They'll kind of say, oh, I don't have to be so stringent about what I was doing, or I don't have to track anything. I'll tell you, as soon as you stop tracking things, whether it's, a framework where you track a lot or you just kind of make a plan at the beginning of the week, you still have to have a clue as to what works and what's not going to work. And when you go back to those habits that don't work, that weight comes right back on. So you have to maintain and be diligent and keep doing the activities that got you to where you are. Except sometimes it takes new activities to get you to new places, right? So if you want to stay where you're at, perhaps you keep doing the same thing. If you want to get new results, then perhaps you do new things. But if your body's in this process of changing and your body's changing, but then you also don't adapt to that, then you might also have a problem. So if you say, I'm doing everything I've always done, but I'm not able to maintain my weight, it's starting to creep up, then it's possible that your body has been changing and that you do need to change your approach, okay? I felt like that was a really long answer, but hopefully that makes sense. Thumbs up if it makes sense. All right, we've got a couple more questions. Stacy asks me, 2 questions left. She says, should I start with cardio to lose the weight? She wants to lose 20 pounds and get toned. Should I start with cardio to lose the weight and then tone up? No. No. Because what happens is that if you're just doing cardio, then you're kind of just burning the calories that you just ate. You're not building a body that will burn calories for you, right? So if somebody said to me, Jill, if you had 20 minutes in the day, would you do cardio or would you do strength training? And I would always choose strength training. Number one, because if I do strength training correctly and I'm pushing myself, my heart rate, cardiovascular, my heart rate will go up and I'll be burning calories and I'll be sweating. But I will be tearing muscle, which will rebuild stronger, which will require more calories, which will up my metabolism, help me with my bone health, help me with strength, and help me to build that toned body that I want, which is gonna do way more than a little cardio session. And if you've ever been on a machine and you did an hour of cardio and it said that you burned like 300 calories, it's true. You don't burn that many calories in an hour of cardio. Maybe you're doing like a really intense spin ride. Even when I was doing spin classes, I felt like that's all I burned. And then you're just going to go eat it. So it's going to, you're basically just fueling the eating that you're going to do. So I would not suggest just starting with cardio. I would have either focus on strength training or a mix of cardio and strength. If you're looking to build a strong toned body and release body fat, right? And so you also, a really important thing with that is that you're matching your nutrition, that your nutrition is supporting the fitness, right? If you are under eating, you're not going to be fueling your body properly if you're doing cardio, if you're doing strength training. And so then you might not see the results you want either. If you're under eating, you're going to see that it's very hard to build a strong body with more muscle. And ultimately, more muscle means that your body is going to burn more fat when you're not working. So that's what we really want to go for. So I would say start with the strength training, really start building that, and you'll see much better results from that approach than just starting with cardio. Okay, last question. Brenda, who actually is a client of mine, she says, how do you speed up metabolism in menopause? It feels impossible and doctors don't want to help with hormones. So this is a question and a statement. So to speed up metabolism in menopause, you lift heavy. You just keep lifting heavy. You eat enough calories to support muscle growth, and that's going to speed up your metabolism. Your metabolism is made up of a few components. Number one, your body's current makeup. So if I have a lot of muscle, my metabolism's probably higher because I'm burning through my food. It's my muscle is absorbing what it needs. My body is functioning really efficiently, effectively. And so higher metabolism with more muscle mass in your body. And then the other thing is how much workouts you're doing and how much nutrition you're eating and what kind of food too, right? So if you eat a lot of carbs, then that might lead to a more speedy metabolism because your body's going to burn through them. And the more you eat, the quicker it might burn through them and it might get adjusted to a higher calorie intake. That's if you're also supporting that with the proper workouts. You can't just eat a ton of carbs and then sit there all day and think that your body's going to process them, because it's going to say, oh wait, I don't really need all these calories to fuel this body, right? And then it's going to store those as fat. But eating enough food is going to start speeding up your metabolism. If you eat too little, your metabolism will slow because the body is so smart. The body adjusts to what your needs are and what you're getting. So the body's constantly evaluating how much workouts is she doing? How much is she eating? How fast do we want this food to metabolize? Another thing is that when you have alcohol in your system, your metabolism stops. Your metabolism for food stops until your body has metabolized the alcohol. So it's always going to prioritize that alcohol. So if you think about it, if you go out for Mexican and you're having chips and salsa and tacos and beans and rice and tortillas and all the things, and you have a margarita with it, all that food, the reason why we feel the way we do after Mexican, not only the salt, the sugar, is that the alcohol is preventing us from metabolizing all that food that we ate too. And so it sits. And when all those carbs sit for quite a while, they're going to start storing as fat. So eat clean, eat enough, get your strength training in, and that's going to help you with we don't want a super fast metabolism, because we metabolize our food too fast, then we just keep needing more. We want a smart and a flexible metabolism, one that can adjust to what we're doing, right? So if we have a rest day, it's not looking for more food. It knows, okay, I can slow down that metabolism a little bit. With regards to the comment about doctors not wanting to help with hormones, I would say if you're talking about your primary care physician, right, your PCP, that's like your plain old doctor who would see if you hurt your finger or if you had the flu or whatever your problem is. If you're just talking about your regular doctor, no, they're not educated in hormonal health. And so you might need to see a specialist or your OB. And even then you gotta ask, should I see somebody else about this? Should I go get a hormone panel? I think it's a good idea. That's something I'm going to do at my next appointment with my OB, is say, hey, can we send out for a hormone panel just to get a baseline to see if anything is, high, low, off. And that way, when we look at it maybe every 6 months or every year, we can see what's changing and how is it changing and how am I feeling? How is that affecting me? But I would not expect your normal doctors to, number one, have much education on nutrition, or on hormones or on hormonal nutrition. So their knowledge in these areas is very limited. As you can see, if they're treating, fingers and headaches and all kinds of things, they're often going to refer you to a specialist. So it's not that they don't want to help, it's just not their field, right? And I would do the same thing if you came to me and said, what should I do for my PCOS? I'm not a doctor. I'm not certified to handle that question. So I would say, ask your doctor, right? Or seek a specialist on that. Once you get your protocol of what's, good and bad, then we can make plans that fit that protocol, right? But I'm sure they don't want to be like, no, I don't want to help you. I think a lot of awareness is coming out too. And I did drop a podcast in here recently with Mel Robbins and Mary Claire, something with an H. I don't know. And they talked a lot about just how limited the attention is and how old school thoughts on women going through menopause was like, women are just crazy, right? And it's not that we're crazy, it's that there's a lot going on in our bodies and a lot of hormonal changes, and it's still something that needs to be studied more, understood more, and seen as something that's very normal and treated appropriately, recognized by insurance and all these things. So if anybody wants me to direct them to that podcast, I'll either send it to you privately or I'll tag you on that post. If I didn't, I might have pinned it to the top as well, so you can take a look there. Okay, hopefully this was a helpful session. Come back next Wednesday, come back Monday for motivation. Tomorrow we do Throwback Thursday, which is a celebration of who we are, were, and who we will become. And keep an eye out for all the good things, okay? And schedule your call with me if you haven't had one, so we can make an action plan for you, get you super motivated, get your results, and get you to your goals. All right, bye everybody.